Hello, everybody. Today is June 16th, Thursday. That's the time. I wanted to get a paper and make it even more official, but just so we can authenticate the time and date. So, it is the 16th. Now, yesterday I discussed that we would be covering another symbol, and I was going to show the correlation of science and spirituality, how they are in fact one and the same. So I'm going to be covering some material that should be very interesting, and one of the beginning of them, okay, is a friend of mine. We would always discuss things, and I have an intuition that it's amazing, and I'm able to connect things with my memory. I have an excellent memory as well, which sometimes it will drop while I'm doing this discussing verbatim because I'm doing this on the fly. I figure I might as well get started instead of wasting time. But as I go and I watch back on the videos, I'm going to make improvements as we go along because I want to really help everybody understand these things. So I will start with the science and spirituality. Now, this is a bit complicated, but we'll start. So actually, there's a question I would like to ask everyone. There are some phrases that we use in our societies that go back a long ways, and many of them I feel they're incomplete. For example, there's a quote by Napoleon Bonaparte that says, "History is written by the victors, the winners," and that's a well known. But there's this one part right after it that people forget. They don't add to it. And he's not the first person to use this term, but he's the first to use it in conjunction with these two together. So he says history is written by the winners, and those who do not know their own history are doomed to repeat it. So what does that mean? If you do not know your past, you cannot know who you are now. You will not know what your future will be. So it's important to know those things. And if history is written by the winners, what happens to the losers? That's why it is imperative that we look at the history written by the losers. And when you take the histories and you put them together, one saying this, one saying that, and when they combine, there's this fabric of patterns that fall into place. These elements that when they're conjoined, you'll see correlation. You'll see coincidence. You'll see coinciding events that mean something. So that when you take two half-truths and you put them together, you're going to get the bigger picture. And that's what I've been doing. I've been researching many of the ancient texts of the people who are on the other side of the stick. And I'm finding that in history, there's many people that should have won out that didn't. And that's just further proof that that concept of good will always prevail over evil because it's good is sort of an illusion. Evil can take over if you allow it. The negative entities, energies, flows, expressions can overwhelm the positive. But this is the awesome part. We know in science that two negatives make a positive. And I'm not saying that two wrongs make a right, but what I am saying is that when you are able to work through that negative energy it will come out the other side positive. So here's my question to you all. That's missing a part. So here we go. Your glass, is it half empty or is it half full? Stop and think about that. What kind of person are you? How do you express yourself in your life? Are you a half empty or a half full person? This is what is important to note. So, what are you? Well, I say to you, my brothers and druthers, right here and now, that your glass is full. Wait a second. Our glass is full? That doesn't quite make sense. Well, I'll tell you. The half that we can see, that's science. We know that it's there. That half that we cannot see is spirituality. Therefore, with the two together, your glass is full. And when your glass is full, you can be at the brink, the rim of that container, and you can see out into everything. If you're not having the two together, you are going to be inside the container. You're going to be trapped, contained. That's what a container is, containing things. It contains it. So it's like a box. You're trapped. But the upside is this. When your glass is full, you can go to the brink of the rim of existence and look out into the great unknown and beyond and see everything and be able to be a part of it and go outside of the container of the glass and go beyond. Now, this is the cool part about science and spirituality, them being one and the same. You can also view it the other way, because they are one and the same. The half that you can see is spirituality. That is the water. It is life-giving. It is breath. It is eternal. It flows. It is what makes up the majority of us and the majority of our earth. And it's one of the key elements of the four, which is something I will get into later with numerology. Now, that half we can't see, we know scientifically that that's not just empty space. There are cells, atoms, there are particles in that half that's not there, so to speak. So we know that it is full. So your glass is full, people. Isn't it wonderful? Now let's embrace the two together and